Wonderful. Well, good afternoon to everybody. I'm Vivian Moreno. I'm your council member for District 8. I First off, I want to start off by thanking everybody for being here tonight. I am your council member for the city of San Diego in District 8. Just a little bit about myself. I was elected as your council member in 2018. I grew up in the South Bay, all over the place, Chula Vista, National City, South San Diego. My mom worked for Jack in the Box for 41 years. My dad was in the logistics industry. I attended UCSD. I graduated with the poli-sci major. Got Started working in the metal industry. I was I worked in the metal industry as a broker buyer, and it didn't fulfill me. And my passion is politics and enacting change. And so, in 2010, I decided to help out David Alvarez in his campaign as a volunteer. I helped him out. He ended up hiring me subsequently. I was a rep for him for 8 years, and a lot of things, happened in between, but just to give you guys a little bit of information about myself, I think it is a true honor to be a council member, to represent you at City Hall. One of the things that I share in a lot of meetings with a lot of folks, in the metal industry, an HR representative once told me, you have to listen to who could hire and who could fire you. And in my case, it's you, the residents of District 8, who hired me, and you guys can fire me, so you guys are my bosses. So, and as I said, it's an absolute honor to represent you at the city. Just a little bit more background. I live in San Isidro. I walk my dog 5 times a week in San Isidro. Sometimes I go up to Otay Mesa area, down Coronado. So I definitely see, feel, and smell what we have to endure here in the South Bay. So I want to start tonight's event by introducing my staff. So Christina is my representative for Otay Mesa. She too grew up in the South Bay, graduated magna cum laude with a degree in criminal justice at SDSU. And just a little fun fact about her, she has a twin sister named Lupita, who interned for us back in 2019. So she might look familiar to some of you guys. Chris Johnsmeyer oversees the Tijuana River Valley and my office's digital outreach efforts. He moved to San Diego in 2014 from Norway and graduated with a political science degree also from SDSU. Fun facts about Chris, he plays the accordion and he also enjoys going on hikes. So please don't hesitate to reach out to these dedicated individuals should you have any questions or concerns after this meeting is done. Tonight's town hall is going to feature a short video highlighting some of the accomplishments from 2020. We're also going to provide an overview of the city's efforts against COVID-19 pandemic, which include rental assistance, small business relief, and vaccination updates. We're also going to be presenting new details on park developments occurring in the Otay Mesa community and highlight some of our upcoming events. Following the presentation, I'm going to open it up for some questions. So with that, Chris, if you can begin to play the video. Hi, I'm San Diego Council Member Vivian Moreno. It's been over 2 years since I took my oath of office, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve the residents of District 8. I'd like to share some highlights from the past year and update you on what's ahead in 2021. 2020 has been a challenging year for all of us. COVID-19 pandemic has greatly impacted all of our lives. I want to thank all of our healthcare workers and those on the front line who've provided critical support and services during this pandemic. This has taken a huge economic toll in our communities. It's one thing that has kept me hopeful. It is incredible generosity I have witnessed from our community. Many nonprofits and dedicated individuals throughout District 8 have stepped up to provide much needed food and other resources to families in need.
From the Sherman Heights Community Center to Ocean View Church in Otay, Mesa, and to Hearts and Hands in San Isidro, our community's joint effort to assist our neighbors has been truly inspiring. In June, the City Council passed a $15 million rent assistance program that provided up to $4,000 in economic rental relief to residents. Almost 400 households in District 8 received this assistance, and more funding is on the way with the Council's most recent allocation of an additional $5 million. We also saw results following my successful push to sue the federal government over the mismanagement of our cross-border waterways. I was excited to see the $300 million allocation from the EPA to combat the transborder pollution in the Tijuana River Valley. This summer, my office kicked off our Clean the Streets initiative, where we held monthly street cleanups and provided large item dumpsters throughout District 8. In total, we provided over 30 large dumpsters and cleaned several miles of streets. We will continue this program in 2021 and hope you will join us when health restrictions permit. My office is also working on providing more green space in our communities. Park upgrades are currently underway on J Street in Stockton and Gamma Street in Shelltown. The city's Park and Rec department recently approved a general design for Bayer Park, which will be located at the eastern end of Bayer in San Isidro. I encourage members of the public to contact my office today to find out how you could support a park near you. The California Transportation Commission approved over $40 million in grant funding for the new Otay Mesa East Port of Entry, a 21st century project that will drastically cut border wait times. I've also continued to work on affordable housing and neighborhood equity policies. The successful opening of Benson Place and recent approval of Ventana del Sur apartments in San Isidro is a testimony to that. In the coming months, my office will be hosting virtual office hours. These will be one-on-one online meetings where you could speak to me directly with any city concern you may have. I'm hopeful that once vaccines are made available to all our communities, we will be able to gather again and celebrate life together. Lastly, I'm at your service, and please do not hesitate to contact me for any assistance. Best wishes. Hi, I'm
Wonderful. Oh, just one time, right? Before we go any further, I do also want to recognize Mayor Gloria staffer Stephanie Estrada. She's here today, you guys. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Stephanie, for being here. She's been a tremendous help for us in District 8. So definitely send her some love. She's working really hard. As the video mentioned, the COVID-19 pandemic caused just a significant disruption in all of our lives. I don't need to tell you guys this, but it especially hit us in District 8 very hard. We have a lot of members of our community who are in the service industry. And together with funds received from the state and the federal government, the city authorized a $95 million rental and utility assistance program to help low-income households pay any unpaid bills. So if you've been affected by COVID-19, if your neighbor, if your cousin, if somebody has been affected and they have unpaid bills in rent or in their SDG&E bill, they can get up to 80% of their backed up bills paid. We need people to apply. The online application portal was made available March 15th, and this is a first come, first served. So I would highly recommend everybody get on this portal, and the website is there, covidassistance.sdhc.org. You might have heard me on radio and Radio Latina. We are trying to get as many District 8 residents to apply as soon as possible. So also the city has partnered with various community organizations who are helping people fill out the application. So if you need application assistance, you could always call our dear friends at Casa Familiar. Their number is 619-333-6824. And this is the second round of rental assistance awarded. The first one occurred August of last year, and 386 households in District 8 alone received up to $4,000 each to pay their rent. So this is real, and this is your money. So all I ask is please sign up for it. Also, I'm going to move on to the small business relief efforts. The pandemic has also impacted many small businesses, especially in our district. President Biden recently signed the American Rescue Act, which includes economic relief for small business and separates the funds from restaurants and venue operators. That was a big deal last year. And so for more information on this program, this relief program, business owners can actually sign up for a one-on-one counseling session with the local small business development center. The link is going to be provided on the slide, and we're also going to input it in the chat box. Moving on to the next slide, which is the COVID-19 vaccination. COVID-19 vaccine, that is our best tool to end this pandemic. So I've been pushing really hard to have vaccination sites available, and not only the vaccination sites, but also having it be accessible to our community. Look, my dad is not going to get online and sign up online. It's not going to happen, right? And after waiting 10 minutes, he's probably going to hang up on any entity. So we're working on ways to make it easier for our grandpas and our abuelitos and our moms and dads to sign up. Currently, we're in phase 1C, and this includes anybody over the age of 65. Workers with childcare, education, restaurant and grocery store, emergency services, and any individual with high-risk medical conditions such as asthma or diabetes. Obviously, appointment demand is still high, but I would encourage you to keep on checking online, call 211, and if anybody's having any issues, hablamos español en la oficina, and we are happy to help out anybody. I am happy to report that over 1/3 of San Diego residents have received at least one dose of the vaccine, and our fully vaccinated population in San Diego is above the nation's average. So this is really great news. In the 92154 zip code, which we're focusing on today, approximately 21,000 vaccines have been administered as of March 23rd. And right there on the right-hand side, that is Mayor Gloria and I at our Montgomery High School pop-up that Stephanie helped out with. We collaborated with Sweetwater Unified to get that pop-up open. And just last week, the people that, I think it was over 300 individuals that were vaccinated, just last week, they got their second dosage of the vaccine, so they are fully vaccinated. We currently have 3 county-sponsored vaccine sites within District 8, and Borderview YMCA also offers walk-ups. So now I'd like to take this opportunity to turn it over to my staff, Christina Sanchez, who's going to be providing us with an update on the new developments in Otay Mesa. Christina, the floor is yours.
Thank you. We are well aware that District 8 has often been forgotten and been subject to unkept promises, but we are very happy to announce that 3 park projects within the Otay Mesa community have been added to the project development pipeline. First is Southwest Neighborhood Park, which will be located east of the I-5 and bounded by 25th Street, 27th Street, and Grove Avenue. The general development plan was approved on February 18, 2021, and the next phase is design completion and preparation of construction documents. This park is planned to have amenities such as multi-use natural turf field, basketball courts, a dog park, fitness stations, and more. The next park project is Hidden Trails Park, which will be located near Westport View Drive and Parsons Landing in the Hidden Trails subdivision. The general development plan was approved on January 21st, 2021, and the next phase is design completion and the preparation of construction documents. This park is planned to have exercise equipment, stations, shade structures, play equipment, nature play area, and much more. Lastly is the Riviera del Sol Park, which will be located in the Riviera del Sol community near Del Sol Boulevard and Dennery Road. This park's construction contract is estimated to be advertised in this spring, And although there is a budget shortfall, our office is actively working with the Park and Recreation Department to obtain funds for construction. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you. And I'd like to turn it back over to the council member.
Can you guys see me? Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Christina. I'd also like to take this opportunity to talk about council policy that we've been working on for District 8. Earlier this month, the Climate Equity Fund proposal that I brought up back in August was unanimously passed by the City Council. And so this fund will direct a portion of city revenues to new infrastructure projects in communities with moderate to low access to opportunities. And this is all defined by the city's climate equity index. And just to get a little bit in the weeds here, it's going to be 10% of the franchise fee, 1% of our gas tax fund, and 1% of a Transnet funding. And I'm happy to go into very minute details about that. But so beginning this fiscal year, an estimated revenue of 4.8 million is going to be allocated to the Climate Equity Fund. And as Christina mentioned, the park projects do require additional funding to proceed with the development. And these are the types of projects that the Climate Equity Fund is intended to help out with, right? In February also, moving on to the next slide, I successfully passed an update to the city's council policy for unimproved streets. So previously, the council policy prevented the city streets division from working on these streets. And for us here in the South Bay, if you guys are familiar with Palm City, think Citrus Avenue, think Conifer Avenue, think alleys. And a majority of these unimproved streets are allocated in District 4, District 8, and District 9. And now with this updated policy, these streets can now be brought up to city standards. So this was a really big win. It doesn't mean that we're gonna fix it tomorrow. It means that I took away the barriers so that when I reported these streets, that the city's department wouldn't say, oh, we can't touch them, because that had been happening for many years. So moving on, my office has multiple events planned for the next few months. As was mentioned today, we were just out there at Montgomery Waller. We had big bins out there. We were out cleaning the community, and we regularly do this. Last week we were up in Sherman. The week before that we were, I believe, in San Isidro. So we're having these events about 3 times a month, and we also volunteer at food distributions. So last year is when we kicked off our Clean the Streets initiative, and it really honestly started, this Clean the Streets initiative started from me and Luna walking our neighborhoods, right? We were done with being inside of the house, and I decided to get healthier also mentally too. And so we started walking our community, and we just noticed how much trash and debris and how many mattresses there were out there. So we kicked off the Clean the Streets, and we're going to continue to do this. We're going to continue to do this. As I mentioned today, we were part of my staff was out in Del Sol, cleaning up the street, just making it easier. And honestly, we don't think about this, but with people that are in wheelchairs, with moms that are out there with their, I'm thinking in Spanish, with their pushing their kids, it's difficult when there is vegetation coming up on the sidewalk. So, and also the trash, right? And also a lot of residents have been cleaning up their homes. So because there's nothing else to do, right? We're staying indoors. And so residents can, we provide large containers so that residents can drop off unwanted items. And so just so you guys know, our next dumpster drop off for this area is going to be back again at Montgomery Waller on April 14th at 9 a.m. On April 23rd, we're going to be up in Sherman, and April 30th, we're going to be in San Isidro. And so, as I mentioned, we're going to continue hosting these monthly town halls. we're going to continue hosting these dumpster, I call them dumpster drives, community cleanups, because this is really a place where I can engage with residents. I just had today an elderly Latino come up to me and he said, I don't know where to get the vaccine, and we were able to provide him the information. And sometimes that's honestly all it takes, right? Is just being out there. And so, I would encourage you also to sign up for our monthly newsletter to stay up to date on all the events that we're having and where we're going to be. Also, we're not inviting people to our cleanups just yet because of COVID. But early on in our administration, we were able to have some, huge cleanups all throughout our communities where, 200-300 people showed up. We had carne asadas, and I hope to go back to that one day. But for now, we are limited to the dumpster drop-offs, to these town halls. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm always here. I'm always happy to do a one-on-one meeting. I'm always happy to help. If you want to report any matters, any issues, we're here. Whether it's local, state, or federal, we'll help you navigate, these treacherous waters. And honestly, if it's not you, it might be a neighbor, it might be a family member. We're always here to help. So with that, I'd like to open it up for questions from the audience. We are going to ask you to please raise your hand and unmute yourself as you are called. So if there are any questions or any comments, also please, that's the other thing that I always ask people, that if there's legislation coming through the council, please reach out to me. Contact me at my email. Or on Facebook. I want to hear from you guys. So yeah, are there any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Can you say your name? Because I don't know who's speaking.
My name is Jose Aspericueta.
Go for it, Jose.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, yes, I am the teacher that emailed you about our street on Coleman Avenue, and you're talking about streets. So do you remember me, right?
Yes. Are you a teacher over at Juarez Lincoln?
No, I'm near Juarez Lincoln, but I work at Los Altos Elementary, which is not too far.
Yes.
Well, I emailed you because of our street condition that has been ignored for 25 years. It has not been resurfaced, repaved. And I emailed you today again.
Wonderful. Okay, well, we can give you an update on what the status is. I know we are we're going to be fixing Marzo in the next phase. So something tells me Coleman might be in there. I have to say that area of our community, that in back of your school, there is, which I went in for kindergarten. I went to Los Altos. My daycare was just down the back of your school, which is a dedicated park, right? Dedicated parkland. That place is supposed to have a park, so that's one of the areas that we're continuing to push the city on. So yeah, well, let Christina follow up with you in regards to Coleman Avenue and where it is. But as I mentioned, you had a neighbor, actually. I can't remember the young lady's name. Her last name was Brown. She contacted us about Marzo, and Marzo is going to be fixed in the next, I think, 6 months. So, but we can get that information for you.
But we've been waiting for like over 6 years. So I'm wondering why we keep being ignored.
Well, I've been the council member for 2 years, so I can only speak for 2 years, and I can assure you that you're definitely not being ignored. This is the first time we get a correspondence from you, and we'll absolutely get an answer for you.
But Ms. Moreno, we have a letter from you from 2017. It's not the first time you've heard about this issue. That's the concern that we have.
Okay.
Is it okay if I interject, council member?
Yes, go for it.
Hi, Jose. I responded to your email and I did receive your current email from today. We
Okay.
actually did reach out last week before I received your email regarding Coleman Avenue. And unfortunately, the only update that I have for you is regarding the construction that was pushed back. And we did reach out and we're going to find out why it was reached out and how else we can go ahead and get that started. That way, because unfortunately we haven't received a response yet. So I'm sorry, I don't have more for you right now.
Well, that's been the case for 6 years. You know, it's getting to a point where it's like a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I completely understand. And trust me, I'm definitely working on it. And as soon as I get a response, I'll definitely be
Because, I
updating
mean,
you.
I like your ideas, everything you're talking about, fixing this, helping this, that's great. But we keep getting ignored for years. And again, like I said, our street, according to one of my neighbors, has been here since the homes were first sold, has not been resurfaced for 25 years. That's incredible.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
gotta fix what we have. What we still have, trying to fix streets that are dirt, that's great. But this, we have a street where people are living on it and does not get fixed.
I completely understand your frustration.
Okay, well, that's what I had to say about that. Hopefully we get good news soon.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And honestly, it's advocacy like yours that will continue to push the button, right? Especially on Coleman. When we communicate with a department, we're definitely going to bring up your name, right? And we're going to say what is the status of this street and why has it been pushed back? And when was the last time it was repaved and why has it been so long? So absolutely, thank you for being
And
here.
you know, one concern that a lot of my neighbors have is, for example, you said you've only been here 2 years. Before you, the previous councilman, he was here for his term. We have a letter from him, and then he left. And well, he's gone. We don't want this like, oh, I left, I couldn't help you. And like you're saying, oh, I just got here. We don't want to hear, oh, I just left. We want things done.
Okay, do you want to add anything else, sir, before we turn to the next commenter or question?
Well, for now, that's it. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I have, or do you want to call out the names, Chris?
Yeah, Mr. Douglas Hulk, you're next.
Hi there. Hello, Councilmember Moreno.
Hello.
Thank you. I want to share, first off, thank you so much for all your work, especially this past year. It's been really tough. And thank you all of those in your office for all the work that you're doing. I live in the Ocean View Hills area in the Playa del Sol community. And one of the things that I'm really curious about is the ongoing street racing that's been happening, especially along Otay Mesa Road. And I've emailed your office in regards to the park and ride lot that's off there off the 905. And that was over a year ago. And I'm just curious what's happening, because it's almost like clockwork. We're on Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sunday nights between 10 p.m. and midnight. There's cars that are in the neighborhood that are just going back and forth.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that question. You know, has this been happening throughout many years, or is this something that has just started?
So as you know, Playa del Sol is a new community, and we're in our third year here living in our community, and it's happened since day one.
Okay.
And that's why the first year that I lived here, I emailed your office letting them know that there was large amounts of cars building at the park and ride lot that's there off the 905. And the idea I had was to put in speed bumps and to have Caltrans put in some speed bumps to prevent them doing donuts in that park and ride lot. Well, now that Playa del Sol is growing and is coming next to that park and ride lot, we're going to have home buyers living in those homes right next to that lot. And so it would be great to have SDPD come out on those nights just to make sure that it's deterring people from using, especially Otay Mesa Road. They're drag racing up and down that street, especially going along Brown Field there.
Okay, and I just saw, I was looking through our participants, and I apologize for not acknowledging him earlier, but our community relations officer, Carlos Lacara, is on this Zoom. So, and I will definitely, we'll make sure that we call it to the SDPD's attention that this is happening. I don't know if Carlos is able to speak on this, but if not, we definitely will call it to the attention of our SDPD. You know, sometimes I've noticed that all it takes is maybe for the PD to write their reports in a certain area, right? To just kind of deter people from, especially during the shifts. I see Carlos's hand up. So Carlos, if you want to, oh, and also just to note, if you guys make comments on the chat, this is, it's being recorded. So we want to get your comments on the actual video. So I urge you to raise your hand so that you could be, so that we could address you with your comment. Carlos, did you want to speak to this?
Yes, hello everybody, and my apologies that I'm not videotaping right now but just my voice. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to mention regarding the racing, we are aware of it. It has been going on for a long time, probably a good 18 plus years. My partner, Carlos Eddington, and myself are in the process of getting some training in regards to the racing, as well as trying to train other officers so they're aware of the situation, which they are aware of it. The problem is that the resources and the time that it takes to really address this. But what we encourage the community to do is call in whenever they see this activity, and we will try and address it as we can. And my partner and I have already developing a little plan that him and I are going to go out on the nights that we know that it's happens, Friday, Saturday nights, and we're going to try and do some enforcement ourselves. But I encourage you to continue calling, and we'll see how we can help out in regards to the racing.
Thank you so much for that update. And one night that is guaranteed is Sunday evenings. So it starts around 10 p.m. and then goes to midnight. And the challenge is it's also jurisdiction, because a lot of that racing is also happening on the 905 freeway. So if the highway patrol can also get in contact with getting some patrols in that area, that would be great as well.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll coordinate with them. Again, you know, it's resources and priorities. I know it's important, but you know, emergency calls and priority ones are, you know, do take priority. Right. But we'll do the best we can. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Mr. Hulk.
Thank you. Next, we have Miss Elizabeth Navarrete. You can unmute yourself now, Miss.
Hi, Miss Vivian. My name is Elizabeth. I live in Coleman Court. I was gonna ask the same question as Mr. Aspericuesta. I have neighbors that have been living here for more than 30 years, and they seen the same thing. And also what Mr. Carlos, he was saying, I can hear from my house all the racing, and it's been for years, and it's ridiculous that nobody can come, because I know a lot of people that are going to be calling for that. So it's the same questions that Mr. Aspericueta has and Mr. Carlos has.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being here, Ms. Navarrete. We'll definitely add you to the list of residents who want to update, who would like an update on Coleman Avenue. If you do have other neighbors.
My address is Coleman Court. Is like around, yeah.
You're right there. I know exactly where you are. But what I was going to say is, if you have other neighbors that are interested in being updated on this, and
we were thinking to write a letter and everybody sign it and email to you and CCC the mayor too, because this is ridiculous.
Make sure that your neighbors add an address and a contact number, so that we can communicate back with them. But yeah, that would be awesome. We would love that.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you. The next is Mr. Andy Cota. You can unmute yourself now.
Yes, my issue is with the garbage cans. If you go around the neighborhood, you'll notice that a lot of the bottoms have duct tape around them, and that's due to the refuse truck. After they dump it, they slam it down on the asphalt or on the walkway. I lived in several other communities. That is not how they dump the garbage. They put it down, and I want to say in a more gentle manner than what's being done now. And when you ask for a replacement, they say you have to pay for it. Now, this is the negligence of the San Diego Environmental Services because they continue to slam those garbage cans. And next, what you're having is leakage on the streets, which is going to cause more germs and vermin to come. So can something be done?
So the life, my understanding is that well, first off, if you feel that that the garbage is being picked up wrong or too quick, please let us know. I'm gonna have Christina direct message you and get your contact information so we could get to the bottom of that particular situation. But my understanding is that the garbage cans do have a 10-year lifespan. And so I think they're coming up to their tenure. So that could be the issue as well. They're only good up to 10 years. But if you, like I said, if you think that the garbage can, the clamp is maybe going a little too hard, we could take a look at your particular situation.
Okay, I'll gather also on the app with next door neighbors.
Yes.
And they've all have made comments about it, and I'll contact your office.
Yes, please. And then also, just to put a plug for any of the garbage or any of the trash or recycle, if you guys, for whatever reason, if we make a mistake and miss your home, please let us know right away. That's work that we could help you guys with. We could have our folks go out there. You know, we're human, we make mistakes, so communicate with us. Our phone number is our office number is down at the bottom of the Q&A. Our email is there, and we are working from the office. The hours are not as traditional, right, as 2 years ago. So have some patience with us, please. Leave us a message, and we'll absolutely get back to you as soon as possible.
Also, maybe also if you could send a staff member to observe on refuge days how the garbage is being picked up, and they can witness it themselves.
Absolutely, yeah. That we're happy to go out and check out any situation that's happening. Wonderful. Are there any other? Thank you for that, by the way. Did you want to add anything else?
No, that was it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
All right, next we have Miss Sabrina Anderson. You can now unmute yourself.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you finally.
You too.
I'm calling in for my tío who lives on Picard Avenue and Palm Avenue. And back in October, him and his neighbors came together and requested for speed bumps and a stop sign. And then I think it was the City of San Diego's Transportation and Stormwater Department came and measured for a location for the stop signs to be put in. And since then, there hasn't been like any follow-up, and we just wanted to know what the update was, if there's like a date that they expect to install these stop signs on Picard and Chanut.
Chanut, yes. Wonderful. What is you said your tío?
Yeah, my tío. His name is Francisco Arana. And he was working with Gerardo Ramirez.
Yes.
From your office.
Yes. So Gerardo Ramirez is still in our office. He's actually on the call right now or on the Zoom. But he's moved over to San Isidro and Otay Mesa East. Christina is the person in charge of Otay Mesa Nestor. So we could actually look into what is happening with that particular situation. Do you know, did your tío tell you if they added, so they did do the measurement, the speed reading and everything, so they're probably compiling everything and are going to respond to your tío. I think that's probably what's going on. I think that takes, if I'm not mistaken, that takes about 3 months to get all of that. But we absolutely can follow up with you. Christina, if you don't mind sending her a private message just to get her contact information. And the other thing, just so you guys know, we most of us speak Spanish. I speak Spanish, we're fluent. So have your tíos and your abuelitos and abuelitas, díganle que hablo español también, que todos somos bilingüe. So we try to service our community, you know, in their language. So yes, we'll get down to the bottom of it, Miss Anderson. And thank you for being here on his behalf. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. And actually, I had another question. I'm not sure if what to do about this, but we've had, and on Nextdoor, I posted about this, but there are neighbors who let their dogs like do their business in front of a lot of people's houses. And I don't know, like, if there's something, what could we do about that? I don't have cameras, but it's just been every single day for this entire time of COVID. Like every day I have to go outside and pick someone else's dog's mess up. It just gets frustrating. People are not respecting our neighbors and, you know, keeping it clean.
Yeah, and you know, as a dog mom, I think that is really bad, right? Because it's not only filthy, it smells, and then also in the summer, it's a horrible situation. There isn't a city policy that requires you to pick up your dog fecal matter at this point. Not that I'm aware of. Maybe there's something in the charter, but I don't think so. So unfortunately, your neighbor is just being not a good neighbor. And there really, I mean, there really isn't much we could do about that. So I'm sorry about that.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Come on, you guys. Anything difficult?
All right, we have Ms. Carlotta Love. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Ms. Carlota, as you said. First of all, thank you for going to Montgomery and doing your vaccination site. I work in Montgomery High.
Oh, wonderful.
So, yeah, but I live here in Ocean View, so it was nice to see so many people from the community come
Yeah.
through that day.
Yeah.
The only concern I wanted to share was going back to the noise, because I totally agree with Mr. Hulk about the street racing, but also with the airport. I've noticed the last couple of maybe 2 years, you know, I know we get a lot of military planes, which is completely understandable. But sometimes they're on at, you know, they come through at 11 o'clock at night, at midnight. I'm noticing a lot bigger planes coming in later at night. And so I don't mind the noise during the day, but you know, at 11 o'clock at night, when you hear those fly over your head, it's a little disturbing. So
yeah, that issue. And first of all, thank you for everything that you do. That event, that the vaccine pop-up was just a really, really amazing event. And it was honestly thanks to the help of Principal Zoomstein and all the leaders you guys have over there. It really was. And I think a lot of people were vaccinated that wouldn't have been otherwise. So I do have to thank not only the leaders over at Sweetwater Unified, but also the mayor, right? The mayor for having this pop-up happen in Montgomery. We definitely need to poke Stephanie a little and tell her we want it back. We want it back in the South Bay, particularly in Montgomery, because it was just a great event. So in regards to the airplanes that are flying over, just a really quick background, that airport used to be, it was a World War II military airport that was deeded over to the city of San Diego. One of the agreements that we made was that they could fly whenever they want, essentially, out of Brownfield. About 4 years ago, a squadron from the Palm City area relocated to Brownfield, and they've been doing their exercises with F-18s. We have a lot of veterans in District 8, particularly in the Nestor area, so over by IB. And I've had a lot of pilots tell me those people are flying way too low. Unfortunately for us, for me, this is a federal matter because these are federal pilots that are flying. So this matter would be something that would be taken up by our congressperson. We are more than happy to write down your name, Miss Love, and get that information over to our congressperson, because according to the agreement that we made with the military, when that airport was deeded over to us, we have to allow them to fly. So it's really it's a gut-wrenching situation, because I feel you guys. When I was campaigning all over our community, I walked 8,000 doors, so I was in Ocean View Hills a lot, and it felt like they were just like right on top of my head. And this was during the day, so I could only imagine. I mean, I know that there are, you know, dogs that get scared and kids that get scared. So I apologize for that, but unfortunately it's out of our hands in regards to, just because it's a military squadron. So we're happy to connect you though, and let our representative know about that.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
All right, we have another question from Mr. Douglas Hulk. Go ahead, Mr. Hulk.
Thank you again. I'm so sorry. I did have another question in regards to the property on the corner of Otay Mesa Road and Ocean View Hills. At one point in time, there was a sign there that said that there was going to be a Catholic church that was going to be built soon. And that sign has since disappeared. But my real question is, that road on Otay Mesa Road, west of Ocean View Hills, there's no sidewalk or pedestrian walkway. And there's a lot of kids that live here in Playa del Sol that go to San Ysidro High School. And so they end up having to walk in the street. And so I was curious if there's any plans on building a pedestrian walkway along that stretch of Otay Mesa Road.
Off the top of my head, I can't answer you definitively, but we could follow up and get you the answer. If not, absolutely, that's a place that should be, you know, one of our top priorities, especially since there are kids and there's more development happening right in that area.
Right.
Yeah, let us follow up and get you the answer. But thank you
so much.
No, thank you. All right, you guys. Well, I don't see anybody else with their hands up. I want to thank everybody for being here. We really appreciate your participation. And as I mentioned, we are more than happy to address any issues, answer any questions. And as I said as well, if there's anything coming down the pipeline in the city, please communicate your opinions on any policy matters with me. Also, if you want to get involved with the efforts of getting these parks developed, please reach out to us and tell us which park you're interested in getting information on. And literally, it's just we give you updates on where we are. We let you know when that matter is coming before council, so that you could call in and provide your opinion to the city council. But thank you for being here. Please stay safe and get your vaccine shot. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.